play better than that yourself, though.
I fucking played a bit of that, you know. Sure chance. We'll go for a drink before we get in. Where are they going? Anywhere you want.
You'll be Rob. Oh, sweet seven, yeah, all right.
Oh, no problem.
As soon as your solicitor gets here, we'll arrange an identification parade. All right?
Didn't do it, you know.
You didn't?
Or jumping out on people, scaring the life out of them. Nah.
We're talking about women, Briley. They were pretty nasty assaults.
So you're looking for a nutcase?
Yeah. In that case.
Got any other suspects?
Only you, Danny boy. Only you.
You got the wrong man this time.
You must be mad. Where do you think you're going to get at least 8 people to put out on an identification parade on a Saturday afternoon?
12 would be better, and I'd got no choice.
All right, 12. Can you leave it till Monday morning?
But I had to bring Briley in today.
Well, can you think of something else?
If another woman's attacked over the weekend, I'm right in it, ain't I?
I don't know, Roy Galloway. Time was when people coughed their guts out of you and that was the end of it.
That was before they brought in tape recorders.
You're losing your touch, that's all I can say.
Well, sheep shaggers.
You've got to go.
I've got an appointment. You've got to go. You'll be their only supporter. Listen, we'll put a couple of gallons of petrol in your tank if that's what you're worried about.
Look, I'm not going and that's it, all right?
Ooh. Come on.
Anyway, look what you've done to my helmet.
Please, can you help me? Please, I've locked myself out of my car.
You've locked yourself out of your car? I don't see how we can help you.
Oh, the last time I did it, police were very kind. They had a big bunch of keys, and it only took a couple of seconds.
Not really our problem, madam.
Oh, go on, see what you can do for me. If my husband finds out I've done it again, he'll kill me, please.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
Dilly. Repairs.
Dilly, could you...
Gateway Avenue.
Yeah. Look, you're not doing all this, are you? Spreading rumours.
Then you've got 2 dogs, taxi.
And have you checked the extension under his name?
I've got a woman who's locked herself out of her car.
Down at a police station, can I help you?
One's a mongrel, the other's a bearded collie or something.
Was it in disguise? Have they been fed?
Ah, we're running out of dog biscuits.
I've got to get them on waiting.
Would you like to speak to Sergeant Cryer?
Dinny.
Is here now, sir?
Isn't there anything we
Yes, sir.
I've got an ID raid on this afternoon.
May I ask what it's about, sir?
Okay, I'll tell you what, you've been off for years. Very good.
Yes, sir.
12.
None of the early shift to go, right?
Yes, sir.
Don't you start.
Saturday afternoon?
Yes!
I will.
I thought we might have tools or something. Why don't we go by bus?
Wouldn't have to worry about parking then, would we?
What's the matter with you, anyway?
Nothing.
I don't want no one to leave.
What?
I don't want anyone to leave. I'm not booking anyone off, OK?
Why? A rugby shot.
You heard what I said?
Oh, bugger the rugby. I'm going to have my hair done.
What's all that about then?
Search me.
The complaints people from the yard are on their way.
Chief Super say why?
No, he just said no one off the early turn relief to go.
Can it be about, Mark?
No idea.
Is it serious? What's happening? Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I don't know what's going on.
You're not alone.
Anything untoward happened this morning, Sergeant Penny?
No, nothing. Why?
CIB.
Coming here?
They're on their way.
Let's have things ship-shape. Batten down the hatches, shall we?
Oh, look, this is bloody absurd. I've got an appointment.
You're very fit rugby. We'll never make it now, you know.
You what?
Well, isn't it nice to know my old relief is as cheerful as ever?
Here you are, June. Oh, Susan, cheers. See you.
Mike, and we better go over the evidence for this Crown Court case on Monday.
Plenty of time.
It was 6 months ago. Well, you can't remember what I did last week, for goodness sake.
You've got notes, haven't you? Any luck?
Nothing. Briley's not living there. It's his mum's place.
It's the only address I've got.
Well, he's not kipping there.
There's not a dirty shirt in the place, there's nothing.
I'll have to get something more if we want to get this fella sent down.
If he wants bail, then he's going to have to give us his proper address.
Wish we had just that little bit more evidence. Carver, don't go out again, I want you.
I've got a case of Crown Court on Monday, so I've got to go over the evidence.
Plenty of time for that. Any luck?
Not yet.
What are you going to do if he doesn't get picked out?
Haven't reached that stage yet, have we?
Think we jumped in too quick.
I'll make a move sometime.
It weakens our hand if we throw Briley out, then have to bring him in later for the same thing.
This is the fourth victim, for Christ. I've got to do something, Mike. I can't just sit around here waiting for evidence to turn up, can I? Yeah, I want somebody to pick up a witness for me. A Mrs. Bonnie Derwin. Yes, miss.
Inspector Galloway, please.
Who shall I say?
Miss Weeks, duty solicitor.
I bet it's football. Liverpool's playing down here, aren't they?
Yeah, perhaps having some trouble over there.
That's all we need, a load of scousers on our patch.
Sarge, the rumour is that we've been held back to dig over Sergeant Peter's allotment.
I wish you were right, Viv.
Miss Weeks?
Yes.
Inspector Galloway. You're new here, aren't you?
To this area, yes.
This way, love.
Brief's taking his time, isn't he?
Well, they're a law unto themselves. That reminds me, I need your ring.
Your ring, what for?
Forensic. We'll get it straight back. Might prove you're innocent, Danny. Come on.
Belong to me old mate. Come to think of it, it's about the only thing he left me. Except for 3 cases of empty brown ale bottles.
Yeah, well, that's more than my father ever left me.
Tell me, Bob, do we have any skeletons in the cupboard?
Skeletons? Not that I know of.
Something perhaps that happened before my arrival on this division.
This is one you're not going to escape, if that's what you're thinking. If they want everyone held back, I'd say it's criminal. It must have happened this morning.
I don't intend to be dragged into anything.
I don't see how you can avoid that. You are the supervising officer, sir.
They better not have let me down.
Last time, Briley had the gear under his bed. Porno books, dirty letters he'd written the victims. Are you listening?
Sorry, what do you say?
He's not going to make that mistake again, is he?
What, you mean he changes his MO?
Keep your voice down. The opposition.
Carver, 2 coffees, please.
All right, sir.
Sugar?
No, thanks.
One without.
Convictions.
2 for indecent assault. Then he got a bit more ambitious, more violent. The last one was just short of rape. The victim was lucky.
What about my client's domestic life?
You mean when he's not out attacking women?
You know what I mean.
Well, I don't know anything about it. It's the first I've heard.
But it's all round the neck. You can't keep anything like this quiet.
Nobody on my firm knows.
Well, that don't say much for your firm, then, does it?
Jealousy won't get you anywhere.
Listen, Jim. Do you remember that street trader knocking out them cheap tapes on the corner of Market Street? Latest top 40, remember? You told him to get lost.
Oh, yeah, I remember. It was years ago. What's wrong with that?
Well, he backhanded me a couple of tapes afterwards.
You what?
They weren't any good, Jim, honest.
Great. Thanks for telling me now, pal.
Well, they were worst copies I ever heard. I palmed them off onto Nick, glad to get rid. Oh, bloody hell.
Bring the CIB officers straight up to this office when they arrive, will you, Bob?
Right, sir.
Can you enlighten us further, sir? I don't know anything. Other than a member of the public's made a serious complaint, and it involves your...
And we've got nothing to hide, sir.
Yes, Bob. But you know how thorough these CIB officers are.
They won't find any irregularities in the book, sir.
This is not a VAT swoop or the Inland Revenue coming to call, Inspector Kite. This is Scotland Yard's...
Gestapo?
That remark is totally out of order, Sergeant Cryer.
They're only doing their job, Bob.
And it's the way they go about it I object to.
How long are you going to be in there?
I can't get bloody top back on, can I?
Single man, supposedly lives with his mother.
Address?
2 Champ Hill.
Brevington Estate, isn't it?
Yeah. Relieve Ted. Take Briley to the interview room. Right, sir.
Occupation.
Plumber's mate.
You want to put him up on an identification parade?
Yeah. For an attack yesterday on Mrs. Bonnie Derwin.
What kind of attack?
You're making a lot of notes.
What kind of attack, Inspector?
Jumped Mrs. Derwin from behind. An alleyway that runs beside the railway station. Grabbed her by the breasts. Tried to pull her into the bushes. She screamed, frightened him off.
Would you like Inspector Kite to leave?
I don't think it'll be necessary, sir. Maybe I ought to save us some time, sir.
Certainly prepared to give you all the assistance I can. Don't you think it's time you told me what this was all about? You have, after all, called me out from home.
Can I see the description Mrs. Derwin gave to you?
Just a fleeting glance. Page 3.
No independent evidence?
Lab boys came up with small traces of a kind of grease on Mrs. Derwin's sweater, region of,
Grease?
Boss White.
Never heard of it.
Quite common in the plumbing trade. Used to repair joints, I'm told.
Quite common, you said?
Low-card principle, Miss Weeks. Any contact leaves a trace. I touch you, you touch me. We exchange all manner of molecules.
I've also heard of do-it-yourself shops, Inspector Galloway. I'm sure Boss White would be available to most anybody. I also noticed from the statement that Mrs. Derwin had her spectacles knocked off in the struggle. Identification is an important part of your case, isn't it, Inspector?
This morning...
Between 9 and 10, the time's not certain, you understand?
Yeah, Mr. Roberts from Essex was travelling through the East End.
Heading for Hounslow.
Thank you, Leslie. Somewhere in the East End, which we've traced to somewhere on this manor. Roberts, desperate to spend a penny, abandoned his car on a double yellow line and sprinted across the road to a public toilet.
Possibly 7, Beat. Could be 10, I suppose.
Yeah, we don't have an exact location.
Can we get on?
Yes. When Roberts returned to his car, there was a PC, notebook in hand, taking particulars of the vehicle. Some distance behind his car was a police panda. In the driving seat, another PC.
Although it may be in a WPC. Roberts is not absolutely clear on this.
Then what happened?
Roberts was duly fined on the spot. Or, to be more precise, the copper pocketed £40.
Looks like you have a couple of bent coppers on your manor, sir.
As I see it, the only evidence you have against my client is some plumber's grease.
Boss White.
Which can be obtained anywhere by any member of the public.
True.
And a fleeting glimpse of a man by an hysterical woman who lost her spectacles in the attack.
An unreliable witness, is that what you're getting at?
And you have to admit the description Mrs. Derwin gives in her statement is not a clear one.
I think it's about time you saw your client, don't you?
This man Roberts simply paid the money over.
Without a receipt or any paperwork whatsoever.
Quite extraordinary.
Surprising how naive people are about the system.
Quite. Roberts didn't realise that you're served with a fixed penalty ticket for parking, and you pay, usually by cheque, within a specific time at a designated place. Definitely not to a local copper in the street.
Surely he must have had doubts at the time that something was wrong.
Well, he must have preyed on his mind. It wasn't until he arrived at Hounslow that he plucked up enough courage to go into a police station.
Do you have a description of the officer who took the money?
Vague. Possibly when we have a chance to interview Roberts ourselves, we'll be able to obtain a fuller description.
It was imperative we acted quickly before the early turn relief booked off.
Understand.
Roberts will be brought here later to identify the officers.
An identification parade.
How long have you been at this game?
Not long.
Do you have a first name?
Yes.
An identification in a case like this would mean separate parades for each officer.
Our Home Office guidelines are very strict where members of a group are suspect. I hope you realise what you're letting yourselves in for.
Well, it may take a little more time than we'd like.
That's an understatement. At least 8 constables on each parade, not connected with the inquiry, all in uniform, all, as far as possible, the same age, height and appearance, a mammoth undertaking.
Allowing for objections, you're talking in the region of 72 or more officers, presumably from other divisions.
It's not impossible.
And 2 of the suspects have moustaches. You can't have one officer on a parade with a moustache and all the others clean-shaven.
Quite.
It'd take weeks to arrange.
If carried out correctly, and I would insist on that.
Not if we had an admission, sir.
I had to fit a new ball cock with a tank in the attic, so this tart showed me upstairs, and I'm not joking. I could see right
Give
up
it a rest, Briley. Mr. Briley, your solicitor.
She's a bit young, isn't she?
Should we get down to business, Mr. Briley?
I was expecting a bloke. What's she doing here?
I'm sure Miss Weeks will represent you adequately.
I want a proper brief. Not some bit of skirt that's got a few A-levels and talks with a toffee in her mouth.
Don't leave the room.
I wish to interview my client alone.
If you want to interview your client alone, you may do so if and when he gets bail. But while you're in this station, Miss Weeks, you are my responsibility, and no way am I going to leave you alone with a man suspected of assaults on women. Stay where you are, Carver.
I would like to see my client alone. Do you deny me that legal privilege?
Stand outside the door, Carver. The open door.
Oh, and maybe something to eat.
Thank you, Alec. Yes, of course. Could you arrange your meal
You can
for
use
the
the
two
inspector's
officers?
room.
Really
Yes.
disturbed.
Inspector Plummer has a cereal at the football, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yes. At about that time, Shaw booked a panda out. Said it's Smith. Smith had a passenger, P.C. Edwards. It could be officers from another division crept onto the manor.
Another area, maybe. Another force, even? No. In our experience, the chances of that are very unlikely.
You know the funny firm's here?
What funny firm?
There's only one funny firm.
Oh, that funny firm.
Yeah.
Who are you talking about, Ted?
Oh, those cunning bastards from the yard. What's wrong with you?
Did you get that?
The sample? Yeah, sure.
Didn't have to chop his finger off to get it, then?
No, he gave it to me just like that.
This could make all the difference between a conviction and an acquittal.
Mind you, I did hate playing the good guy. You know the CIB are here?
Yeah, what for, do you know?
Something to do with Bob Cryer's relief.
Send this by hand to the lab, straight away. With their laser, they should be able to match it up with a muck on Mrs. Derwin's sweater.
On my jacket pocket.
Haven't messed it up, have you,
No, I was only joking.
I've no chance on the promotion ladder, not with graduates like Kite about. Oh, what's this distress break stamp? Don't leave those copies there. Right. Should take correspondence.
Not there either, please. How does anyone expect me to read this writing?
Oh,
no!
Oh, quick, pull the plug out the back! It wasn't my fault.
I've lost it. I've lost everything.
You Burke. We have to start somewhere. Logically, your panda crews must be prime suspects, sir.
And Inspector Kite can release the rest of the officers.
No, not just yet.
Oh, you don't need them. Surely you said so yourself.
They may be material witnesses.
Right. Well, I'll be at home if you need me. Unless, of course, you think that I'm a material witness.
I don't think that'll be necessary, sir.
Keep me informed of things, will you? Certainly, sir.
What if I don't want to go on a parade?
That's a matter for you. There are other alternatives that the police can turn to. But I must warn you, in the end, if you continue to object, you'll be confronted with a victim.
Just her and me?
Face to face.
What do you reckon?
If you're innocent, it doesn't matter.
I am innocent.
Then go for the parade.
You'll be there, won't you? Make sure they don't work any flankers.
You have my assurance the parade will be conducted in a correct manner.
Sergeant Peters, I'll be at home if you... What happened?
Patel smelt burning, sir.
Coffee?
Instant reaction, sir.
If I wasn't so preoccupied with other matters, Sergeant Peters, you'd be in my office explaining to me why you've been allowing refreshments in the CAD room against regulations.
Yes, sir.
Now, if it's at all possible, I'd like to go home and spend what is left of my day off.
Thanks, lads.
My officer's
downstairs. If I have assignment bringing the officers one at a time.
Hello, Sam.
Blimey, Roy Galloway.
You've been keeping yourself, you old bug, a long time.
Too long.
You're not still with a funny firm, are you?
Yeah, for my sins.
I thought you're retired.
Counting the days.
What you doing here, then?
Well, it's one of those silly ones. Look, Roy, I must go. We'll talk later, okay?
Yeah, sure. No funny business, Sam. Got a good bunch of lads here, the best.
You know me, Roy.
That's what I'm afraid of. I need you for an ID this afternoon.
I'm sorry.
But you've got no choice. Plumbers at the football and there's no other inspector to take your place. I'm terribly sorry. I'll see you downstairs in the canteen.
Yeah, we'll talk later, Roy, okay?
Sure. Drop in my office when you're finished. All right? Bye. Cheers.
Yeah. Right. Yep. I want to see everyone.
What's it all about, for Christ's sake?
Why don't they just tell us?
Hasn't Kite told you anything, Bob?
Oh, we play it right down the line.
I'll give them a mouthful if they take liberties with me.
All right, all right. I need to get out of hand.
Pardon? You what?
Will you take that bloody thing off when I'm talking to you? Right, Tom, I want everyone in the recreation room.
What's wrong with staying here?
You don't want to get involved in an identification parade, do you?
Not really.
Right. No telephone calls, no contact with anyone else. Understand?
Right, Sarge.
Right. You're first, Smith.
Forward. Well?
Yes, he agrees to an identification parade.
Good.
I want to change your clothing for him. He can't go in a parade in a boiler suit.
Sure. All he's got to do is give us his correct address and we can go around and pick it up.
You've got his address, haven't you?
You mean his mum's address?
Yes.
God, he's having yawn. He hasn't lived there for yonks. It's Inspector Kite. Miss,
Janet Weeks.
How do you do, Weeks?
Yeah, come in.
In you go, Yorkie.
Let's sit down. Be with you in a minute.
Inspector Kite will conduct the parade. You've no objection to it being held here?
No. Plenty of room, light.
Mrs. Derwin's attacker was wearing a bobble hat at the time.
I'm borrowing 12 from Claire's wool shop. Right, that's great then.
It'll probably take time to bring in enough suitable people for the parade, Miss Weeks.
Yeah, well, we usually have an arrangement with a local sweet factory, but unfortunately I don't work on Saturdays.
You don't have too many public-spirited persons in this part of the world.
Not that you've noticed, love.
If that reports to be the time, then surely that's incorrect.
Yeah, well, it's obviously an inaccuracy.
Description fits.
Well, oh, Bennett. Right. Yorkie Smith, is that correct?
Tony Smith. I was christened Tony.
Well, Tony, what are we going to do about Mr. Roberts' money?
Money? What money?
Don't tell me you haven't been discussing this business with your colleagues.
I've been discussing nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Turn out your pockets, Yorkie.
Why?
I want to see what you've got in your pockets.
Why are you treating me this way?
All I'm asking is for you to turn out your pockets.
I haven't done anything, you know.
You did have a police panda out this morning, didn't you?
Yes.
Who was your passenger?
PC Edwards. There's £20 in there. £20 of mine. I got £50 out of the bank yesterday. There's £18 at home. I spent about a tenner last night in the pub. There's a couple of quid there. Now, will you please tell me what this is all about?
Tell me, when PC Edwards was your passenger, did you at any time cross onto 7 beat?
I've got to cross 7 beat to get to my own beat.
Did you stop on 7 beat?
No.
Edwards will verify this.
Yes.
You know, I've been in this game a long time, Tony. Some would say too long, isn't that right, Leslie?
Right, sir.
And over the years, I've developed this uncanny knack of knowing if someone's not telling the truth.
I'm telling the truth.
I'd like you to stand outside, Tony. I don't want you to talk to anyone, understand? I shall want to see you again. Put me through to the recreation room, please.
Don't be under any misapprehension. These people are here to investigate you. Just like any villain off the street. I'm not going to pull any punches. So I want you to go over everything you've done today. Every call you went to? Everyone you spoke to? Yes. Taff.
Well, I've got nothing to hide.
Okay.
Come in. PC Edwards, isn't it? No,
Sir.
Sergeant. Sit down, there's a good chap. Sergeant, I'd like you to place PC Smith in another room. He's not to talk to anyone or use the telephone, all right? Oh, and Sergeant. Take these away and bury them.
Sir. Come on, Yorkie.
You were a passenger in a Panda driven by Smith this morning.
Yes, sir.
You stopped on 7 Beat.
7 Beat?
7 Beat.
No, I don't think so, sir.
Do you remember a motorist who parked his car on a double yellow line?
No, we didn't stop on 7 Beat.
Just now you said I don't think so. You weren't sure.
I'm sure we didn't.
What were you doing in the Panda?
I had breakfast in the canteen and then PC Smith dropped me back on my beat.
Empty your pockets under the desk.
All right, what's going on?
Do you mind? That's private.
You worried about something?
No, of course not.
Then you won't mind.
Look, if you suspect me of a crime, you should caution me.
I've been in this job too long to play games, Edwards. When I have evidence which would afford me reasonable grounds for suspecting you of committing an offence, you'll know it, lad, believe me.
Medical appointment?
Yes, sir.
For this afternoon?
Yes.
St Mary's Clinic. Let me see. Is that one that specialises in venereal diseases?
Dipped your wick in a wrong one, did you, lad?
How many more times do I have to tell you? I live with me mum. Whose side you on, anyway?
I'm looking after your best interests, Mr. Briley. There may be a question of bail. I may have to satisfy someone in authority that you have a permanent address.
I live with my mum.
Carver, you went to his mum's address, didn't you?
And none of his personal belongings there, sir. No clothing, nothing.
It's because I ain't got nothing.
What clothing have you got on under the boiler suit?
My worldly goods. Satisfied?
I'll leave you alone to talk with your client, shall I?
Could be a consenting adult's job, sir. Perhaps we made a mistake about this.
Look, for your information, I have a girl back home. Anyway, that's personal, nothing to do with you.
I wonder if she knows about your indiscretion.
Look, I've done nothing to be ashamed of.
What you do in your spare time, Edwards, is a matter for you.
It's merely an infection.
Just so long as you don't bring discredit on the force, that's my only interest.
Oh, thrash.
Now then, PC Edwards, do you have any money problems?
Haven't we all, sir?
You're not helping yourself.
Not helping myself. What am I supposed to have done?
For the last time, Edwards, did you or did you not have occasion to question a motorist about parking on a yellow line?
No, sir.
A double yellow line.
I did not.
You going somewhere nice?
If I can get someone to look after
We had
Dad.
some idea what it's about.
Have you got any relations that can take the old chap in for a couple of weeks? Give you a break?
Oh, yeah, I've got relations, all right.
Well, they don't want to know.
If it wasn't for cards at Christmas, I wouldn't even know they existed.
You've got to break free, June. You've been old maid before you realise it.
I've made up my mind. It's time I'm going.
Good.
Hey, I've just heard.
Go away, Hollis.
Lose yourself. Now, look, hold on, you might need my help.
That would be scraping the barrel.
Remember, I am your Federation rep.
I'll give you 2 seconds
Why don't you
to get out
represent
of here.
us?
Yeah, why not?
Go and see the Chief Super.
Hollis?
Tell him that these people from the yard are taking liberties.
No, don't tell him that. He'd be silly enough to go and do it.
Listen, brothers, if you've got a genuine grievance, I'm not frightened to put your case.
Right, for the last time, Hollis.
But Sarge.
Nick, your turn.
What do you mean? They can't find anyone to go on the parade?
Be reasonable, Roy.
Reasonable? It's our fault. What have they been doing out there?
It's a near-nigh impossible task on a Saturday afternoon to find volunteers. You know that.
Why does it matter if you're telling me it's Saturday?
What about
Hang on a
carving?
minute. I suggest we adjourn the parade until Monday. What? And give that brief downstairs a satisfaction of knowing we're incapable of organising an ID?
You want a parade? You let Mike and me have a van and a driver for half an hour. Just half an hour. That's all I need.
Well, if they think they can do better than the uniform officers, why not?
Now, what do you want?
About Carver, I just want to know how long you're going to be using him.
Nick. Good name for a copper.
Very appropriate.
You know, sir, if he'd been born Rick, he might have been running around Hong Kong pulling one of those pram things.
Probably heard that before, Nick, many times.
Yes, sir. Many times.
Not nervous of us, are you, lad?
No.
Sure?
Sweaty palms?
No.
Half a crown, sixpence.
You had a police panda out this morning.
Yeah, I got an alarm bell call from Derry Street.
Did you drive across 7 Beat?
Yeah, well, my beat.
That's interesting.
Any other cars go to the call?
No. I was in the station when the call came in. I took the spare panda.
What time was that?
9:15, 9:30. If you let me use the phone, I can soon check.
You were the only one who went to the call?
No, WPC Ackland was there when I arrived.
Then what happened?
False alarm, so returned to the station.
And Ackland?
I'll get a lift back to the Nick at the station.
You carried a passenger.
Yeah?
Roy? Here you got trouble.
Yeah.
A couple of enterprising coppers want to make the Duke of Edinburgh's award.
The old funny on the spot gag went out with the miniskirt.
Yeah, well, the miniskirt's back in fashion. Look, what do you know about this Fairfax?
Sam Fairfax? Did a Spelman on the squad many years ago. One of the most bent coppers I've known.
Bent?
Sam the fit-up man, that's what the villains used to call him. Neck 'em and fleece 'em, that was his motto.
Well, how did he get posted to the Complaints Bureau?
Matthew at the yard, early warning system, if you like. One of the men on the inside. Here, you haven't seen my cigars, have you?
Oh, camaraderie. No.
Where the hell have I put them?
What's this down here? I don't suppose you could have a word, could you?
Oh, hello. I really detest the man, Bob. Besides, the word is he's converted. Seen the light. That's what they reckon.
Born again hypocrite. God, that's all I need.
Huh. What's the matter? Pressure? Don't let them get you.
Yeah, it's easy of you to say that.
To me, it reads like Fairfax is protecting his pension. That's got to be in your favour, because he won't want to retire making waves. You've got no problems.
You know that any passenger carried in a police vehicle should be recorded. Why isn't WPC Ackland's name in Book 66?
I forgot.
Very convenient. You're in trouble, lad. You know that?
How am I in trouble? I ain't done anything.
What do you think, Sergeant?
Possibly a discipline offence. I'd be inclined to throw the book at him myself.
What are you trying to do to me?
I'd be prepared to overlook a few misdemeanours if I had some help from you, Nick.
I'm sure it would sway the balance.
I don't know what you're on about.
Was it Ackland's idea to find the motorist?
Nobody found anybody.
Oh, perhaps you were a passive partner in the affair.
Come on, Nick. Tell us all about it.
You can both go to hell.
All right, pull in. Come on, quick. Come on, man. Get in. I'm not getting in. I'm not. Come on, get in.
Now listen and listen good. In my book, there are two kinds of policemen, those who treat it as a job and those who treat it as a business. And I want to know which category you're in, Mr. Shaw.
You're wasting the jacks up our way, you lot. What are you nicking us for?
Yeah, you've got to tell us.
Yeah.
Who said you were being nicked?
You want to earn some beer money, didn't you?
Well,
Jerry, me. How'd you play patience?
Come on, give you a go. Fancy yourself, mate.
what the hell? What's your game?
I never did it. It was a long time ago.
What was a long time ago?
I never touched a penny of it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Roy. If I get this Sergeant Bolton...
you want to get that liquid fertiliser on them mushrooms, stop keep them in the dark, that'll do the trick. Yes, Brian?
I now have a parade together, Roy, thanks to Roach. He must be endowed with some kind of charm I failed to notice before.
A man of many talents.
Besides which, he's arrested a football supporter whilst on warrant for aggravated burglary in Liverpool.
What can I say?
Take your time. Don't feel any pressure to rush. And if you're not satisfied with the makeup of the parade, raise your objections immediately.
Has he completed part 2 of the form yet?
Yes, Inspector.
His address?
I live with my mum.
He's sticking to that, is he?
Yes.
Shall we proceed then?
All right.
Take one, all right. Stop messing around.
Look at this. Bill Wolf, mate. Bill Wolf. Bill Wolf.
All right, funny. Has everybody got one?
Come in.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, come in, Sergeant. Close the door.
Yes.
Never, Sergeant, in my service have I taken so much lip from a young PC.
Sure. Shaw's professional behaviour is in question.
I know Shaw. He's never been cheeky. He's a hard-working and outstanding officer. And I stake my life on his honesty.
And you better have a private word with him, Sergeant. I'm here to investigate a crime, and while I discharge that duty, I don't expect to be told to go to hell by some young PC still wet behind the ears.
I will point out, sir, there are some areas of discipline regulations that are relevant here.
Take Shaw away and have a word with him, Sergeant. I want a full statement of everything he's done during his tour of duty this morning. And in the meantime, I want to see WPC Ackland.
Sir.
Collator. Yeah, who am I speaking to, please? Well, I'm afraid you've come through the wrong extension if you want to make a complaint, Mr. Lennon. You've just been fined £30 for parking on a yellow line? Yeah, where are you speaking from, Mr. Lennon?
If you have an objection to any person on the parade, say so.
The third man from the right. No offence, but I think he's much too tall.
Thank you, we won't be needing you. Miss Weeks, would you like to pick somebody else?
You with the black hat. Yes, you.
Will you join the parade, please, sir? You can select your own position. Now? Yes. Constable, can you hand out these numbers, please? Are you moving along? Shuffle up, come on.
Try and keep in a straight line. No. Put the numbers down in front of your feet.
Now, Ellis, what's all this about?
Right, well, a member of the public just rang in, and Mr. Leonard. He's just been fined £30 on the spot for parking on a yellow line by a panda crew.
Where?
Cassian Street. The officers went away, but they're back there again now.
They've come back?
Yeah, they're parked up somewhere opposite Cassian Street. Mr. Leonard's watching them from the tobacconist, you know, at Belmont's place.
You all right, mate?
Yeah. See you later.
All right. Come in.
WPC Ackland.
Thank you, Sergeant. Sit down, Miss Ackland. Right, I'll come straight to the point, Miss Ackland.
You're not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so, but what you say may be put in writing and given in evidence.
Well, forgive me if I'm wrong, sir, but shouldn't you tell me exactly what you suspect me of?
In time, Miss Ackland. In time.
Sarge, I don't believe what they're saying. They are evil and they're on our side.
Right, calm down.
They accuse me of being a liar. A coward not to face up to responsibilities.
Responsibilities?
To guard the good name of the force. You gotta speak out, they said. Fairfax wanted me to point the finger at June Ackland and she hadn't even done anything. If anything, it was my fault.
What are you talking about, your fault? What have you done, for Christ's sake?
I forgot to record her name in vehicle logbook as a passenger in Panda.
You plonker. You really had me worried. Don't you realise they're conning you? They can't do you for that.
They scared the shit out of me. I didn't know what day it was.
I've had enough. I'm going.
I don't blame you.
Sit down, Viv. You're not going anywhere.
Right. Sit here for another few hours.
Excuse me, sir. Do you realise you're parked on a yellow line?
I'm sorry, mate. I've only been a couple of minutes.
There's a fixed penalty fee of £40.
£40? £40? You wouldn't settle for...
no checks. Cash only, I'm afraid.
What will this do nicely, sir?
All right, now.
Where the hell did they get this from?
Empty your handbag onto the desk. Turn it right up. Any pockets? What's this?
Well, those numbers and prices are from a travel brochure.
Misuse of official paper.
Property of the Metropolitan Police.
Yes.
Crete. Antigua.
Well, self-catering.
Nevertheless, expensive.
It's a long time since I've had a holiday. What are you suggesting?
We'll come back to that in a moment, Miss Ackland.
You're grasping at straws, aren't you?
Tell me, Miss
You are
Ackland.
completely on the wrong
PC
track.
Shaw,
where
is he
this
going
is-
away on holiday with you?
You think it amusing?
Yes, it's very amusing.
Would you find being charged with theft amusing, Miss Ackland?
Numbers down, please.
God, I didn't know her face was marked. Wasn't in the statement.
You were too busy trying to find loopholes in the identification.
No need to be afraid, Mr. Derwin. Now, I must point out that the person who attacked you may or may not be in the parade. So I want you to walk along the parade. Take your time. Don't be nervous. Nobody's going to hurt you, Mrs. Derwin. If there's someone you recognize, just tell me.
You see, it's so easy to put £40 in your pocket. I suppose there's always the risk someone might see you.
Remember you?
Look, for the last time, I never stopped a motorist on a double yellow line, and I have never, ever taken money in my life.
Is the person who attacked you on the parade, Mrs. Derwin?
I think so.
Right, if you'd just like to come...
Right. Please have another look at them without my glasses.
Any objection? If you recognise your attacker, just tell me the number.
I'll kill you! I'll kill you! You bastard!
Stow it! It's all right.
That's it! That's it! You!
I think your client's been identified. Could I have a word, please? Yeah. Brian, will you show Miss Weeks up?
Yeah.
Are you all right, love? All right, I'll see you soon, all right?
Now, if you're going to charge me, charge me.
I suppose you think because you're a woman you should receive special treatment.
Talking rubbish.
If that's what you're counting on, let me tell you, Miss Ackland, you'll get no mercy from us.
Oh, and let me tell you, sir, my position is clear. If any of my colleagues have committed a crime, I'd be the first to shop him. Although now, having met you two, I'm not so sure I would turn anybody in.
Particularly Shaw.
Why particularly
How
Shaw?
close is your relationship with Shaw?
There is no relationship with Shaw.
All right, Miss Anne. We're gone. Bogus coppers. It's a mechanic from the police workshop and his girlfriend. Come on, Jim.
That is good news.
Oh, not finished yet.
Yes, you have, chummy. I bet you're glad you're retiring soon, aren't you?
Well, it's nice to know I'm leaving the job in such good hands. Not a bad lot of kids there, Roy.
That's what I told you.
The girl in particular. Wouldn't you say so, Leslie?
Yes, sir.
Stood up to the pressure well. You've got a diamond there. Now, you can tell me about those bogus coppers over a bloody big drink.
I thought you might say that.
Here, do you remember that team of robbers we nicked over Chelsea's manor?
What, the ones you stitched up with a stocking mask and the pickaxe handles? Right.
I know